story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, this is CoreTV News on the hour with Nifemi Oguntoye. Nigeria's oil workers have called off their nationwide strike after a long-drawn meeting with federal government officials and representatives of some oil companies. The meeting, which began on Thursday evening in Abuja, ended at about 6 a.m. on Friday with the signing of a communique on the resolution. But before the contentious issues were trashed out, leaders of the government team and Supervising Minister of Labour, Kabiru Turaki, urged the two unions to always put national interest above individual concerns. The oil workers, on their part, were glad that their key demands were addressed.
Then we will give the parties concerned the opportunity to state their case, and then the other side or sides as leaders, that our primary responsibility is to ensure that whatever is done responsibly. We can achieve whatever we want to achieve for ourselves, our organizations, indeed our teaming followers, without necessarily overheating the polity. Let us remove issues of sentiment. Let us address the issues squarely. And I assure you that our responsibility as that ministry that has the mandate to ensure that critical balance will be ensured.
I want to say in good faith that for the first time I've also seen that commitment from the IOCs in a meeting like this. Haven't spent about 13 hours deliberating on issues since yesterday, breaking into this morning. We have no doubt that definitely the IOC, Total E&P, will respect this agreement that has been reached, inclusive other sectors like Mobile, will also comply to the plea that was also made to them to reinstate the zonal treasurer of Nupeng. If that fails, I think that should be a big question mark for Nigerians, workers, and also the oil and gas sector. But I want to say if it fails, of course, we have a mechanism and ways of handling issues. We'll go back again to address those issues appropriately.
The central bank is releasing the commemorative 100 Naira note recently unveiled by President Goodluck Jonathan into circulation with effect from today. This is contained in a statement signed by Head Corporate Communications Ibrahim Muazu in Abuja. The CBN has consequently directed all its branches to issue the currency from their respective locations. It, however, says the commemorative note will circulate alongside the existing 100 Naira note. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has shifted the deadline for the submission of political parties' candidates' list for governorship and state houses of assembly elections from December 25 to December 26, 2014. The Commission has, however, declined to comment on the number of political parties which had submitted or yet to submit the list, bearing the names of the presidential and National Assembly candidates. The Chief Press Secretary to the INEC chairman stated this during an interview with journalists in his office on Thursday evening in Abuja. He said the Commission shifted the date because it falls on Christmas Day. The Commission, however, hinted that there was no extension for the December 18 deadline set for the submission of forms for presidential and National Assembly candidates, but there will be no submission opportunity for any political party that fails to submit by the set deadline, which was 8 p.m. on December 18, 2014. He said initially the Commission intended to close the submission by 6 p.m. on Thursday, but some of the political parties pleaded that it be moved to 12 midnight. It also says that whatever name submitted for governorship and state houses of assembly election on December 26, 2014 should be officially published on January 1, 2015. He added that there was a constitutional provision for the withdrawal of candidates, adding that the person who is nominated to INEC has to write and sign that he or she is withdrawing from this race. When he or she does that, the party can bring another name within the stipulated time. The All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, has adopted President Goodluck Jonathan as its presidential candidate for the 2015 general elections. And the motion was moved by the Deputy Speaker of Anambra State, Nkem Okeke, and seconded by the chairman of APGA in Bauchi State, Adamu Musa, at the convention in Awka, the Anambra State capital. Party chairman Victor Obe said the choice was necessitated by the need for a leader who is a binding force that would advance national unity, as well as a calm president in the face of hostilities. He added that APGA was supporting Jonathan's second term in office because he pledged to implement the 600 recommendations of the recently concluded national conference, which it believed could sustain the future of Nigeria. The convention also adopted 4 recommendations of its Constitution Review Committee set up earlier this year and which were inserted in the amended constitution of the party. The All Progressives Congress has named Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi as the Director General of its presidential campaign, a day after it announced Professor Yemi Osinbajo as its vice presidential candidate. APC spokesman Lai Mohammed reviewed this in a statement issued in Lagos. The party said it opted for Governor Amechi because of his outstanding reputation as a man of courage and principle, as well as his administrative prowess and organizational skills. APC also thanked Nigerians for their support toward the success of its convention, the emergence of Buhari as the APC presidential candidate, and the choice of Professor Osinbajo as his running mate. The party is convinced that it had lived to its promise to ensure that the choice of its presidential running mate would be made within the context of the best democratic ideals. Senate President David Mark and Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, Cardinal John Onayekon, have advised members of the political class to respect the wishes of the people in the 2015 general election. They also urged politicians to desist from acts that are capable of overheating the polity in the run-up to the election. Both leaders, according to a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the Senate President, Paul Mume, spoke on the sidelines of a Christmas carol on Wednesday night in Abuja. Cardinal Onayekon stressed that violence and rancor would cease to be part of Nigerian politics if politicians play the rules and allow the people to decide who they want to govern them. Some members of the All Progressives Congress want the party to drop its governorship candidate in Katsina State, Aminu Bello Masari, who presented a fake certificate. They have also threatened to go to court to seek Masari's disqualification from the 2015 election if the party goes ahead to field him, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives. In a letter addressed to the APC chairman, John Odigo-Yegon, by the lawyer, Festus Kayamo, the members claimed that the postgraduate diploma certificate presented by the candidate was for a non-existent cause. They argued that an inquiry was made in 2011 when Masari was the governorship candidate of the Congress for Progressive Change to Middlesex Polytechnic in the United Kingdom, and a response showed that there was no cause like water quality control and management. The leadership of the Lagos PDP has described the action and allegations made by one of the losers at the party's recent governorship primary in the state, Musiliu Obanikoro, as anti-party and uncalled for, especially coming from a member who has benefited immensely from the party. Chairman of the party in Lagos, Tunde Shele, says the party wanted a credible candidate that could favorably contest and win the 2015 governorship election, and the PDP has seen that in Jimmy Agbaje. Amatayo Yalo has the details.
Governorship primary of the People's Democratic Party has not ceased to generate issues, especially following the recent suit filed by defeated aspirants Musiliu Obanikoro, who accused the party of irregularities at the election and called for a rerun. The Lagos PDP chairman Tunji Shele described the accusation by Obanikoro as belated and unfounded, adding that the accuser has not exhibited enough credibility.
We once had ad hoc delegate elections. A form was supposed to be sent to Lagos from Abuja to collate the results. To the best of our knowledge, he manipulated the process. They didn't bring the real result sheets to Lagos. They brought a fake one and kept the original for him to fill in his own delegates, most of them miscreants. We discovered it, raised an alarm, and that exercise was cancelled. That's why we had to do another ad hoc delegate primary congress.
For his part, the deputy chairman of the party in Lagos, Ola Akpino, says the election Obanikoro is making so much noise about was conducted in the freest and fairest manner and see no reason why it is so hard for him to accept defeat.
It was at a stage, probably when somebody realizes that somebody else's votes is getting, more. That is where the problem starts. The bottom line is that most of us are bad losers. Whatever process that is put in place is only credible when we win. So we have stated our own part of the issue, but now I learned somebody has gone to court.
The Lagos PDP chairman also stamped Agbaje as the party's choice for the governorship poll ahead 2015 and vows it would be giving all the necessary support.
And we want a credible candidate. And in Jimmy Agbaje, we have found a credible, sellable, and competent candidate who can win Lagos election.
Meanwhile, all the stalwarts of the party have also enjoined Obanikoro to accept defeat and refocus his energy on pro-party activities. Omotayo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Ahead the 2015 presidential election, some residents of Kaduna State are hailing the decision of the All Progressives Congress to opt for Muhammadu Buhari as a presidential candidate. Many of them told CoreTV News that the APC choice of the former head of state means that the People's Democratic Party needs to work harder to convince them that he has a better candidate. They, however, want the Independent National Electoral Commission to do more to live up to the expectations of Nigerians for a free and fair process.
That has passed. Now we know it's still struggling to get it. We know something good is going to come out from this. Then if possibly wins the seat. But in as much as the ex-president, Omar Musaya he did well in the press sector as well.
Either Jonathan wins, or Buhari wins, or any other person that is running for the presidential slot. But I can assure you that this is our country. We are not panicked, we are not scared, because we know that God, who has been seeing us through, will definitely see us through this time around. I think Buhari's emergence is good for democracy because we now have a healthy competition, so to say. Buhari had competed before, but on a different platform. This time around, I think he's having more credibility based on those that are around him this time around. So, of course, you cannot wave aside the power of incumbency. You cannot wave aside the power of PDP. All of us, we know what it means to be a PDP flag bearer.
You're on to CoreTV News of the Hour. We'll take a break and I'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. You can get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News and we're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV for the space and news. The Nigerian authorities have warned the public on plans by Boko Haram insurgents to carry out major attacks on soft targets during the festive season. Coordinator of the National Information Center, Michael Miri, says intelligence reports show that the targets include bus terminals, motor parks, places of worship, as well as recreational centers. Omeri, who is also the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, however, assures Nigerians that security agencies have been directed to increase surveillance across the country. He also wants the citizenry to be vigilant and cooperate with security forces to ensure a hitch-free Yuletide.
The year 2014 gradually comes to an end. Nigerians have been advised to be very security conscious, especially during the end of the year festivities. Already, security agencies have been intimated of plans by insurgents to carry out major attacks against soft targets during this period. These targets include motor parks, churches, schools, mosques, recreational centers such as amusement parks and viewing centers, among others. The aim is to exploit the festive period with the attendant mass gatherings for religious programs, school end-of-year parties and activities, including family picnics, to cause large-scale destruction of lives and property.
Normalcy has now returned to Gumsuri village in Damboa local government area of Borno State after gunmen reportedly killed 33 people while also kidnapping about 100 others, mostly women and children. Reporters said that the attack took place last Friday, but the news made its way out after some of the survivors made their way to Maiduguri, the state capital. Although no one has claimed responsibility yet, the attack, according to reports, bore the hallmarks of Boko Haram, which abducted more than 200 women in April from a secondary school in Chibok, 24 kilometers, about 15 miles from the site of this latest attack. Maina Chibok, who did not witness the attack but is from Gumsuri and visited the family there shortly afterwards, says the insurgents came in pickup trucks and spread the town with bullets from AK-47s and machine guns. A security source confirmed that more than 100 women and children are being abducted and 35 people had been killed, including the district head. A youth vigilante from the area, Ali Yumeman, says that there was no security presence to stop the militants who stayed in the town all night before leaving. President Goodluck Jonathan has flagged off the nationwide workers' housing scheme in Abuja with a groundbreaking ceremony for 10,000 units in the Akpo-Tapi district of Abuja. Speaking at the occasion, the president says his administration plans to deliver 100,000 housing units under the scheme in the Federal Capital Territory and 36 states of the Federation. He commended organized labor for partnering with the government in providing shelter for Nigerian workers, but also called on the unions to exploit all avenues of negotiations before going on strike.
I'm glad to know that the framework of the project being flagged off today is the first of its kind and firmly in the spirit of the transformation agenda. This has been embedded as a component of the social safety net programs of our SHOPE and is yet another gain from the SHOPE, a major player in the provision of infrastructure within the SS through funding support. And of course, we're already discussing with the FD Minister, even as we sit, how we'll make the roads very, using the SHOPE fund to assist in terms of the road network. This is all to bring down the cost of the houses and make sure that the environment, the district is a district that people will want to come and live happily.
Mr. President, Nigerian workers will continue to remain indebted to you because when you made the pledge, you also followed it up. I have not heard this from the Minister of the FCT. I have not heard it from the Minister of State of FCT. I have not also heard it from the Permanent Secretary. But Mr. President, from our own means of getting information, we were able to have a part of a conversation that ensued between you, Mr. President, and the FCT Minister, maybe with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 other people around you, where you are now giving orders that land should be now given for this purpose, for building houses for Nigerian workers. And this area was cited. Mr. Minister, don't be offended. It's like Mr. Minister said, Your Excellency, I've already earmarked that area for some governors and some senators. And Mr. President said, are governors and senators better than Nigerian workers? Please give them that land.
We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with updates outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has moved to 12 years of economic collapse while also vowing rapid recovery from the worst financial crisis of his rule, but stressed that his position on Ukraine has not changed. Speaking at an annual news conference, the Russian leader says the economic downturn will last 2 years at most and promised to support the poorest section of the population. He, however, indicated that the economic gloom has not swayed his stance on Ukraine, accusing the West of behaving like an empire, while also comparing Russia to a bear who is under attack and fighting for survival. He added that efforts by the central bank and government, including a record hike of the key interest rate and spending billions to stabilize the ruble, have been absolutely reasonable and in the right direction, although they could have come quicker. The Russian president had remained silent earlier this week on the ruble crash, which led Russians to rush to exchange their savings and splurge at stores to dump their devaluing national currency ahead of expected price hikes. And that wraps it this hour on CoreTV News. Join us again at the top of the hour for more stories. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being back.